Hello, welcome to our channel once again. We appreciate each and every one of you as we adjust our camera. There's a funny car sitting outside our house. Gee, I wonder what that's all about. The elites can't hide what's happening anymore. They can't. They can suppress the heck out of this channel. They can pay everybody else who's in the right-wing media from the Department of Defense to give out their stories and pontificate about one issue, but they can't hide the truth anymore. Thanks to places like Gateway Pundit and Zero Hedge and Sorsha, and a dozen other sites, they can't hide it. Oh, Army Times and Navy Times and Air Force Times has become absolutely worthless. Defense news, worthless. But the elites can't hide what's happening anymore. It's all over the place. You just drive down the street and look at the malls. They're empty. They can't hide it anymore. Anyway, this is brought to you by Get the Tea. I had this wonderful grilled cheese sandwich yesterday. In fact, I had it 2 days in a row. You put it take a nice piece of organic bread with lots of seeds and you put a piece of Swiss cheese on it. You stick it in the oven till it starts to bubble. You wait till it cools down. You put it together. And you have a wonderful grilled cheese sandwich. Locale, of course. But it just tastes so good. And then it saddened me. And it saddened me. And it saddened me. It didn't go through. You see, 9 out of 10 Americans can't digest milk. So, this morning I reached for the takedown. Why? Because it has lactase in it. So that wonderful Swiss cheese sandwich can be dissolved in my stomach. Now, I get A2 milk when I can, but that's very rarely. But the takedown dissolves the Swiss cheese so that it passes through me. Now, I could have gone for the cleanse product that they have that has lactase in it. But my body's running just fine. I just needed a little help with my blood sugar. And because I've tested this, and with the digestion of the milk that I eat. So, in came the lactase. Thank you, Get the Tea. The best products on the market, bar none. Man, it makes eating that cheese sandwich, that bubbly Swiss cheese on that organic bread with seeds in it, Dave's breads, and it just makes it worth it. So, this is because of my back, of course. And a little bit about this, my power bill, without doing anything, we pay between $270 a month to $500 a month to the power company. Why? Because the power company has to support the city. And the city supports affirmative action. We had a gal talk at our meeting, $100,000 she gets every year from the city of Tacoma. Why? Because she's black. And there are thousands of people like that. We don't have money for streets. We don't have money for the sewer. They're all office administrative affirmative action hires. Unbelievable waste of money. And if you're one of the 10 million people on Medicare that are paying for Medicare, retired Medicare people, it's weird. You're on disability, getting, say, $1,000 a month, and then you go to Social Security, you get $1,000 a month, and all of a sudden you get a $200 a month bill. So when you retire, your retirement goes down. It's bizarre. The federal government has screwed every retired person. They want you dead. Because when I talk to the people on refugee pay, when I talk to them, not a problem. They're never denied medical services. But here in America, we're denied medical services if you're an American and you're retired. Constant denial of medical services. And, there's only about 10 million out of the 15 million people on Social Security that can afford the medical. But the other 150 million people on Social Security don't pay that fee. Only the people who put into the system pay that fee. And Elon Musk, according to the press, started its own political party. So President Trump criticized Elon Musk. Well, Elon Musk came out yesterday and said that's a total lie. I didn't start a new political party. What's Trump criticizing me for? So the entire criticism between Trump and Elon Musk is made up in the media. They want Musk and they want him to hate each other. And our illustrious terrorists in the FBI came out and stated there is no after Pam Bondi, their boss, said, I have the Epstein list on my desk. The FBI said there's no Epstein list. There's no bones off of Epstein Island. Don't look at the aerial photos. We're going to have Google paint them out soon. we're going to paint them out. Don't worry. Don't look on the island. They don't exist. And they said there was no blackmail and Epstein committed suicide in jail. So once again, the FBI terrorists struck. And speaking of FBI terrorists, the Department of Commerce, under NOAA, National Oceanic Administration, which is nothing but a bunch of hitmen, put out a rain enforcement, hail suppression, trans-PACOS, and there was no environmental impact statement filed, and put this out 3/15/25, and suddenly the cloud seeding caused flooding in Texas, killing well over 250 Americans. Run by the U.S. Department of Commerce, whose sole goal is to test weapons, and initiated by National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. You can find the story on Zero Hedge. But you saw it here, right here. Force-approved OMB corporate control that has the expires 5/31/2000. Okay, that has to do with 27, the actual form itself. So there it is. The document that caused the death of over 200 million Americans, signed by Bob DiCarlo or something like that. He doesn't write his name in. With the number of 603-988-1170. Though the floods in Texas are called murder. But the FBI won't allow that investigation to go forward. And overseas, Zelensky told Trump on international TV to go F off. The United States is no longer an ally. All debts with the United States are canceled. Go kiss my royal. And he just went on. He's a little pervert. He's a porn pervert. So he used to do, he played the piano naked on stage. The guy's a pervert. And he didn't play it with his fingers. Anyway, he told Trump to go F off. At which point, because Trump said, we don't have any weapons left in the United States. We can't engage China. So we're going to start remanufacturing the missiles. See, all the old stuff was given to the Ukraine. All the stuff that could get shot down. So now we're rebuilding new stuff for the Navy and the Army and the Air Force. The only military service authorized in the Constitution during a time of peace is the U.S. Navy to protect international commerce. That's all. The Army is a standing army of militia. There was no Air Force or Space Force. Totally unconstitutional. So anyway, that's why we've had a time of WAR since WW1. Because that authorized the Army, Navy, Air, and then, of course, the Air Force, and then the Space Force. So he told him to go F off, and then Trump called him up and said, hey, buddy, I'm going to send you weapons. We're going to continue to waste American money to supply a perverted president who walks around with his pants on backwards and his zipper down. We're going to continue to support you, man. Just keep wearing them pants on backwards with the zipper down. Unbelievable evil being committed by the United States. 5 roads going into the Ukraine. 2 airports. You knock them out, that's 7 missiles, and they can't import weapons. The war stops in 2 weeks. Russia won't do it. They want this conflict. I don't know how perverted and weird they are in the Kremlin now, but same with Washington, D.C., they want this war. See, war means money. Money, money, money. And in the Russian port of St. Petersburg, which used to be called Leningrad, 1 ammonia tanker is blown up about every month. The Russians suppose that it's the U.S. supporting the Ukrainian special forces that caused the tankers to explode. That means there's an ammonia shortage, which means a urea shortage, which means a food shortage. So the Ukrainian special forces are destroying ships carrying products to make fertilizers to reduce the world's food supply, to kill people. Massive population reduction. In the meantime, Russia is making advancements on every front. The sooner they take the Ukraine, the better, and I'll tell you why. These ammonia ships will stop getting blown up because the Ukrainian special forces that wear the swastika will no longer be in service. Anyway, so that's what's happening in Russia. And in Mexico, there was a riot in Mexico City. Gringo, go home. They don't wear hats overseas. They were wearing hats. The controllers were wearing hats with cameras using hand signals. You could see them using hand signals. And about 10 people started throwing rocks and knocking down restaurants. And everybody was yelling, Gringo, go home. Just like every other riot, you pass out, 1,000 pesos. 1,000 pesos, actually down there, you could probably pass out a peso. These people aren't working, they're street people. I mean, they got funny hats on and weird. This one guy had this spike hat. He was a controller. He was dressed weird. He was a controller. He was a CIA controller. So the CIA put on a riot so that we could hate Mexicans with about 1,000 Mexicans. So they probably passed out 100 pesos, which is what? $10 to about 1,000 people. And they had about 10 people throwing rocks at restaurants and smashing windows and kicking things in. You can't just kick a window in with a boot. You got to have a piece of metal on it. So these were specially prepared boots. So the CIA does a great job with riots. Thank you, CIA. You did a great job in Mexico City. And the mayor of Mexico City went, blah, 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 blah. That's what he said. And then he said, yeah, we don't like the Americans coming down and spending their money. We don't like Americans spending money. Yeah, that's the ticket. Well, fine. Americans, get out of Mexico. They're mad because all those illegals there, all 60 million of them. Oh, by the way, the State Department now is making up lists of hundreds of thousands of people a day and giving them American names and then assigning them to the illegal aliens. President Trump, you don't know about that. And your Betty Boop, Susie Wiles, Betty Boop, Chief of Staff, won't tell you. But they're making up hundreds of thousands of names and assigning them to the illegals and making them citizens. Saying if you don't vote for the Democrats, you get your welfare cut off. That's what's happening today. I got that tip from an insider. They're taking the names of hundreds of thousands of people and assigning them to the illegals, putting them on welfare, watching their votes, and if they vote for a Republican, they get deported. Welfare gone. Unbelievable evil coming out of the U.S. State Department. Thank you, Marco Rubio. And finally, the Ayatollah on a website called THAAR.IR, there's a $23,477,000, $321 reward for anyone that shoots President Trump and kills him. It's a $23,477,321 reward. Now, THAAR.IR is spread across Google, and Microsoft sponsors it. So the leaders of Microsoft and Google are putting out a hit with the Ayatollah against Trump. The FBI has made no arrests, nor have they shut down NoKings.org or Citizens.org, which is organizing the riots to kill Americans. They haven't shut them down. Why? Because it is the FBI that are the terrorists. The CIA, we know what they do. You get a conflict. A lot of people come home, get addicted to drugs. Drug sales go up. The vets die off. You need another conflict. So you can have a whole lot more drug dealers. So you're either selling weapons or getting drug addicts. One of the two. CIA's got to balance the conflict with the drug addicts so they can keep their income up. You see that Vera chip that you're supposed to get in your hand was developed by Carl Sanders. We talked a lot. He developed it for the shipment of marijuana and other drugs coming in from Central East Asia. Then he turned his life over to God and turned to Christ, and there it is, Yeshua, and he started talking about it. He gained about 300 pounds and died shortly afterwards. His wife died and he died. They developed this jointly. They tried it on a Navy ship. It vibrated. It caused the munitions to blow up, sink a Navy ship. So they went to the UCP code, the code that you can't buy or sell without. You will not be able to buy or sell without the code. It's on your hand. Credit card. Cash. Or in your forehead. You know the number, your credit card number. Right there. In your right hand or your forehead. Swipe that credit card and buy it with that UPC code. Buy something without a UPC code. The mark of the beast has been here for a long time, folks. So, anyway, that's the news for today. There doesn't seem to be anything else barking out. We're going to talk about the German economy collapsing, the BRICS nations, and maybe we'll talk a little more about citizens.org and nokings.org still being up, and how the FBI won't prosecute Microsoft or Google directors. They all are satanic priests. Satan can't prosecute Satan. The FBI is run by people who worship Satan. James Comey's dad ran the SS. James Comey's daughter ran the P. Diddy trial. He wasn't tried for murder, despite all those bones and bodies under his house. It's just like the FBI said. There were no murders at Epstein Island. Ignore the bones around the island. There is no Epstein list. Pam Bondi can't make him. As for Kash Patel and Bendigo, they can't make the FBI into a non-terrorist organization. All they can do is sit there and collect a paycheck. Bendigo, you prove to be a worthless puke. Sorry, it's the way it is. Anyway, God bless. Thank you very much. We appreciate each and every one of you, which makes every one of your videos you did suspect. We'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning. The mind can absorb what the rear can endure, so we keep these under 20 minutes.